Was it missing the whole time?
Maybe. No, we're good. We have sound. We might have been missing sound
Is she
periodically.
messing with us?
No, it was actually missing for a bit. It's just my connection here to the jack is loose, but we will make sure that is
Thanks,
fixed.
Josh.
With the recording, it'll be all good because it's recording to a separate device. So the podcast, if you missed a bunch, you can listen to the edited version of this. That'll be on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts, and it'll be full there. What were we saying? It's a free social media, free social channel and a cheap advertising channel, not a free advertising channel. So a lot of people are using it either for what we just talked about, it's snow day and closing down for the day, and using it like, what do you call that? Like a public service announcement.
Yeah.
Or for just ads like, hey, we have a clearance sale, or we have something, a discount, or come in and please buy from us or something, right? Just these desperate messages. So I think that's how a lot of people are using it, and that just doesn't work anymore. You need to use it those two ways. Like, it is a great free social channel and be social, or it is an amazingly cheap advertising channel and use it for advertising, but pay for it, like make it an ad.
So
and so it's dividing those
for us non-experts.
Yeah.
Back in the day, well, we all know this. Back in the day when you posted on your page and people were following, they would see it. And now barely anyone sees your free posts, right? Or at least not right away.
Yeah. I was actually just explaining this to a client yesterday who's fairly savvy with how, like, a fairly young business owner that knows what's up in the world of marketing. And he was surprised to learn that when you post something, not all of your followers see it. Which,
oh yeah, I thought that was pretty common knowledge.
Yeah, so
but
that
maybe it's not.
So that definitely is not the case. So if you have 1,000 followers,
5%, isn't it?
Yeah, industry average they say is 5%. I think extremely large pages bring that average down because some of our, like, one of the pages we manage has like 1.5 million followers, and there, we can. I mean, we're better than 5% there, but it can be quite low. If you're a small business, you're a business owner, a local business, a lot of the people that we're talking to, you probably have less than 10,000 followers, some maybe even less than 1,000. And in that case, if you're only getting 5% reach, there's something desperately wrong. We're still getting at least 75% reach, which I know is very high. But even some clients getting like averaging 100% reach on their posts. But that's because we're not doing the just having a presence style of social media. Like, let's put some intention into it and create things that people actually want to see. So
and
if you're getting
with?
Something that people want to see come down their timeline. So we can get up to 75% reach. I would say as an average, you're hoping to get 20% as an absolute baseline. And if you're above that, you're probably better than average. It really, really varies. It's hard to say like this is what the average is because of how much it depends on how large your following is. But
we're killing it on the Rotary page this week.
Yeah, I saw some of your new content. That's good.
Thanks.
So yeah, I think definitely treating it in those two different arms, that you do have your social, or what we call organic content, because it's free. You can just post it out there, and that's for building relationships. That's what the point of social media is, and that's something it's good at, is building relationships with people, and not about trying to turn them into a customer or, I don't know, whatever those conversion oriented kind of actions are. It's just build relationships, have conversations with people, get to know them, let them get to know you. That's really what that's good at. And then you have the ad side, and we won't get into that too much today because that's just advertising strategy. That's same as using Google ads or radio ads or billboards or whatever. It's just advertising, and Facebook
that's
just
cheap.
Happens to be very, very cheap compared to all of them.
Facebook and Instagram, you include in that?
Yeah, Facebook Ads Manager it manages Instagram's ads and Facebook ads and all of their audience network, which includes some apps and things.
Sometimes I know the answer to these questions. I'm just clarifying for the non-internet geniuses out there.
You're standing in for the people who
Yes.
have these questions. That's good. So, we won't talk too much about the ad side. The one thing, though, is to say that you don't need to treat your organic audience like an ad audience. Like, you don't need to put those promos on your page because you're like, well, I do have those 1,000 followers, I should let them know too. It's so cheap to reach those people that there's just no point putting it out organically. To reach 1,000 people should cost you $10. So is it really worth annoying your followers with this spam kind of sounding post when you could just make an ad for $10 and reach all of those people or more?
Interesting.
It's usually, I mean, it varies a lot, right? It depends on what your goals are and how it's priced and how competitive it is and all of that. But as just a sort of rule of thumb, every dollar you spend should reach 100 people.
Oh, I was just thinking interesting about that. And maybe you're not thinking of ours specifically, but I was thinking like with the free tools that we have and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, oh, we should tell people about this free resource. But if it at all comes across like a spammy thing, I wouldn't want to put it on our page.
No, but if it does come across as something that people want to know about and hear about, and they are genuinely interested in knowing that you offer that, if your audience will find that valuable, then that's good organic content. Like we run seminars infrequently enough that if I announce one, I can put it out to an organic audience and they're going to find that valuable because we only run a few a year. So yeah, I'm going to say, hey, we're running this seminar, grab your tickets because they always sell out, and my audience will find that valuable. But if I ran a seminar every week, I mean, I'm not going to be posting all the time because they're not going to find that valuable. They know that that's available. Like, stop trying to sell it to me, leave me alone, kind of thing. So
yeah, I get that.
So yeah, it is, when we talk about the organic side, it really needs to be built on how do we build relationships with people. And I think that's what, or I know that that's what is so different about social media than every type of traditional media and every media that's come before it, where you had the publisher or the broadcaster or whatever that role would be, or and then you'd have the audience, like the people who consume that. And Facebook doesn't have that kind of hierarchy, and I guess I should position it this way. You have like the publisher and then the audience, and there's no hierarchy in social media. Everyone publishes, everyone consumes, right? Like it's not like a newspaper, like I pay to be in it, so I'm one of the publishers and it goes out to all these readers. On Facebook or Instagram or wherever we're talking, everyone publishes, everyone consumes. And so I think a lot of people still use that platform like they use those old ones where they're like, I have something to say, you should consume it, and I will sit back here and wait for you to come give me your money, right? And it's not. It's two directional, right? It's a dialogue, not a monologue.
I think I just had a huge breakthrough.
Did you?
Do you know that maybe I'm just using you for free advice, and I don't
That's
even
what
want to
I
do a
say
podcast?
other podcasts are for me. I get free coaching.
No, I'm having a breakthrough here. Just one sec here. So, can you say that again?
Which
I haven't
part?
even taken any cold medicine. I'm so sorry. Say that again. So instead of me talking to people as though I'm like a newspaper and they're the people reading the newspaper, it's actually basically me talking to peers.
Yeah, it's a peer-to-peer, right?
Because I think you just removed, like, I have this huge thing about, like, even this podcast right now, I'm like, I have this stupid thought that comes in my head that I have to squish down. That's like, who do you think you are? Why are you recording videos and putting them out there? How are you any better than anyone else? But that's not what I'm trying to do, is not be any better than anyone else. I'm just trying to be social and share and talk.
Like everyone with a Facebook account is a content creator, right?
Yeah.
Like no one has ever, I'm fairly certain I could say it's an extremely low number of people who have signed up for Facebook and made an account and never posted anything.
I know one.
Right? Do you?
My husband's sister-in-law just posted her first picture like a couple months ago.
Right.
We used to argue about it all the time.
After lurking for years.
Oh, don't say that.
Lurking? That's exactly what it is.
She's not a lurker.
But hopefully she's not a podcast listener either.
I don't know. I'm going to have to tell her now. It wasn't me. I love you, Amy.
So, yeah, that's what really gets broken down, is that instead of it being, hey, we're the publishers and all of you consume our content, that everyone's a publisher, everyone consumes. And so it really needs to be peer-to-peer and dialogue, not just like, here's something, read it, watch it. Like, actually let them talk to you, I don't mean back to you like sassy, but let them talk back to you and have a conversation. Which means exactly those people that you're talking about that post something and then don't check it for a month or two. That's exactly what you can't be doing. Like, it's not just here's a thing, enjoy and walk away. It's entering a room and having conversations with everyone in it and having back and forth and building relationships.
This is a really cool metaphor. Is it a metaphor? Am I using the wrong term there? Walking into a room and having conversations with people?
It could be. Depends how you use it in a sentence. It's an analogy.
Analogy.
Sure.
Perfect. That's what I meant. So I was thinking, before you texted me about this podcast idea, I was actually thinking about the idea that we should love our business enough that we want to go in on a snow day. Like, that's what I was thinking the other day, because I was like, why are all these people so happy that they're not going to work, or so happy that, like, I even know business owners who are like happy that it was a snow day, and I was like, I can't wait to get to work because I got to send this video to this client, and I got to do this, and you know, that's not to say I don't have days where, like, I know I went through a period about a month or two ago where I was just kind of unmotivated, and I was kind of deflated and kind of frustrated, but you know, those periods are very few and far between for me, and I was thinking everybody should love what they're doing as much as I usually do, but I couldn't really attach that to enough of a podcast topic. But the client I was talking about today, who was only replying very, very infrequently, she's also very disenchanted with her business right now.
Okay.
And she sees social media as just another thing she has to do. She said those exact words. And I said, well, why don't you get someone, like, there's this lady on there who's like a super fan. It's so cute.
Yeah.
And she comments on everything, but my client never comments back because she never checks it, or it's just another thing, right? And in business coaching, you get a lot of coaching homework, so the last thing she wants to do is go on Facebook after she's done all the other homework.
Right.
So anyways, I was saying, what about this lady who's obviously in love with all your products, like in love? She's like a huge brand ambassador, and I think she's retired, and she obviously knows how to use Facebook. What about somebody who actually loves doing it, who enjoys it, who's like excited about it? Have them do it. Because I think if you're doing anything in life and you're doing it with a I wish I didn't have to do this attitude, it's not going to land well for people. Like, if you walked into a room and you were like, well, I don't really want to be in this room. I don't like any of these people. That's kind of like...
Absolutely. And so it's funny, like, I've even known some marketers who offer social media marketing who hate Facebook. I'm like, how? How do you offer this as a service if you don't enjoy being there? Like, you kind of need to... it's not like you have to love it, but you definitely can't hate it, I don't think. You need to enjoy being there. Otherwise, people can see through that. People have really good radars for what's authentic and how you feel, like the mood of the environment or whatever you're putting into your content. People can really detect that. So,
actually, you know how we did that podcast on electronic versus verbal, or just using words like text or email? I don't want to say electronic messages anymore because he made fun of me. But I was doing some more research on Albert Mehrabian. He's the guy who came up with the 738-55 rule. Okay. That 7% of communication comes from the words, and the rest is tone or facial expression or body language. There's a bunch of research disputing that. But in that, like in all the stuff I was reading, I found some really interesting stuff about how good we are, even if we're not trained in, body language or nonverbal communication or psychology, how good we are at detecting inauthenticity in other people.
Yeah.
Or, if you're pretending to like something and you don't.
Right.
Or if you're pretending to be amped up and you're not. Like, people know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like when clients are like, oh, my employees don't know I hate them. It's like, they really do. So you need to get that figured out.
And if your Facebook followers see you post something that's like, whatever, some Motivation Monday thing, and it doesn't look or feel authentic, they know. Yeah. Like, if you're not posting it with a feeling of authenticity, they know. So I think like a really important point of using social to build relationships, because that is the point and what it's good for, to say it again, put the song back in your head.
Oh, man, I gotta find that song.
So building relationships means creating very authentic looking content. So this is what, like, I kind of feel for all of the amazing videographers and amazing photographers that are out there, because their content just doesn't often perform amazingly on social media. Like, it is often better to have something that looks more amateur. And so a lot of these people like do incredible work, and it works great for ads. We can definitely use that stuff for ads. We can use it on YouTube if we're talking about that. I don't usually classify YouTube as a social medium, but you can do that stuff on social.
Because it's not very social?
Because it's basically a video search engine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay.
Like,
I
there's
agree.
no sharing and stuff like that. You can like and comment, I guess, but yeah. But yeah, it's that kind of video and photo content can do well on those other platforms. I mean, amazing images do great on Pinterest, and great photos can do well on Instagram, though there is a trend that some of the biggest influencers in the world are intentionally degrading their images to look more amateur.
Like Gary Vee?
Yeah, but even like, I don't know, Kardashian type people, like they're putting filters on their videos.
Let's not include them.
No, but they know how to do this well, right? Like, they're masters at this. and they're intentionally putting like grainy filters on their photos to make it look like a more authentically shot
Okay, just
thing,
for the
right?
record, I'm not doing that, but lately, have you noticed our videos have looked really pixelated on Facebook?
No.
Well, yeah, that's been happening.
Maybe.
So yesterday I uploaded one of my dog trying to itch her sweater off, and it was
Right.
really blurry, so I took it down and then put it up again, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple that Laura have uploaded are like that. So just for
Okay.
the record, I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm not
Right.
using the Kardashians' tricks.
So that this should come as a bit of a relief to people that you don't need to hire an amazing videographer, you don't need to hire
Yeah,
a
the
photographer.
cost.
You can actually create some great content because it's so much more important what it's of than how perfectly it was created, right? It's more about the body of it. So like yesterday, I posted a video on our page of me walking to work because it was ridiculously snowy, and my usual, I don't know, about 12-minute walk was a 20-minute walk because of how snowy it was. So I literally just like turned on my camera, held it in front of me, and did my walk to work, and then sped it up 1,000% so that it wasn't a 20-minute walk. It was like a minute 40 seconds or
Oh, I'd
something.
have to go watch that.
And so it's just like this like fast, rapid pace walk through the neighborhood, walk downtown into the office, right? So right now, like we have, what do we have, like almost 700 followers, so not a huge following on Facebook, and we've reached like 1,100 people with that post already. So we're at 150% or something reach, which is, according to the statistics, like a ridiculous amount of reach.
And you're saying
we get
as
that
you get bigger, naturally your reach
it
will
will
get smaller?
yeah.
Okay.
But I think there's a lot of people in our kind of following size, and I would say anyone under like 5,000 is kind of similar to that, who are never getting 150%
No,
reach.
I agree. Yeah, like 100 or 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the funny thing is, it's not like there's a lot of videographers in town that I'm friends with and people that follow us and who probably watch that and are like, this is so
What a piece of
amateur.
junk.
Like, you need to use a gimbal so it's smoother. You could have like had a nice transition effect here. Like, you could have done all this stuff. And I literally took 5 minutes editing it because I just took a video file, threw it in Premiere Pro, sped it up 1,000% and outputted it, and then threw it on Facebook, right? So the amateur quality of it, honestly, it usually works better because people are like, oh, that's so authentic. There's a look into your real life and your operations and what you guys are up to. So
That's the thing, authenticity.
yeah,
And
it's so important.
I was researching that yesterday for a client because we were arguing about hiring has become one of the main goals of a lot of my clients' marketing plans. So
Okay.
it's pretty interesting. Usually the goals are hit a sales number, hit a gross profit number, hit a net profit number, hit a number of new clients, or hit a retention number, like things that have to do with sales or number of clients. But now we're looking at quite a few businesses who want to have, they're growing quite rapidly, so they've always got another position to fill, another position
Right.
to fill. So
Good.
we've just made it a strategic objective to attract quality candidates. And I have
Mhm.
one who got a professionally made video. It's just beautiful. It's awesome. Such a great job was done, and they got a lot of great candidates from it. But that really is more suitable on their website, I'd say.
Yep.
And it did work on social too, but I have another client, similar situation, and I'm trying to convince them, you don't need to wait for a professional videographer. You don't have to pay a lot of money for a professional video. If you just get your staff on selfie videos talking about why they like working there, and we
Mhm.
get some engagement on it, get people seeing it, I think that'll attract the candidates on social because it's more social. But on your website, yeah, if you want to have a video that starts playing when people go to the careers page, sure, get that produced.
Yeah.
But on social,
Or your
the
cover image,
authenticity or
like on
the-
Facebook, you have the cover image that people only ever see if they go to your profile, and usually they're going there to learn more about you, and they're kind of in that discovery or learning phase. You could put something there that's a nice video that tells a bit of your story. And it's not that content doesn't belong on social, because we definitely do create some of that, like beautifully shot videos of like, so our restaurant client, like going out to one of his vendors and showing where the bread is made and how his coffee is roasted, and like
Cool.
those nice videos. But those are kind of long form evergreen content that people hopefully watch, a year after they're made, 2 years after they're made. And that's kind of the intention. It's not for the performance in the next 3 days when the post is new and hot. And that's the kind of content that people are mostly hung up on, is like, what do I post today? What do I post tomorrow? And it doesn't need to all be this high production. In fact, shouldn't be the high production, amazing looking content. It needs to be amazing in what it's about, that it tells your story and lets people get to know you. That's the social part, right? Like, get to know others, let them get to know you. That's the point. So it needs to be amazing at doing that, but it doesn't need to be technically proficient as far as like how it looks and sounds.
So I don't need to cut out the part where I go like this and press play and then back up and then do my thing and then cut out the part where I go and press off.
You don't need to.
But you told me to, I mean, do it. It takes me at least an extra 90 seconds.
Does it?
It could be so much more efficient in my day.
I don't know. That's a tough one. Like, I feel like it's so.
It's the least you could do for us, right?
No, but so the thing is, like, you want to be like half a step ahead of where the average user, like where your audience, what are they doing when they create content, right? So the more that everyone is getting access to amazing cameras, everyone's getting proficient at using photo editing and filters, everyone's getting good at video editing, you kind of need to be at least at their level. You don't want to be less than your audience, right? And it's just...
Especially when you're a business coach.
Yeah, for sure. And especially you see this on Instagram where there's incredible photographers. And so in that case, you probably, you know, if that's the people, if that's your audience that are paying attention to you, you probably also want to have fairly good photos there.
But stories can suck, right?
But stories can be raw and amazing and just
that's
what's
what I
up
meant.
behind
Raw
the
and
scenes.
amazing.
Raw and amazing. Yeah. So, yeah, you don't want to be... Yeah, sure. You don't need to be as amateur as possible, but just consider what your audience is doing. I think the bar continues to raise every year as far as what people have access to. Like, everyone is able to create a pretty awesome video really simply. And so if all of your audience, like, once everyone's making cool, edited, awesome videos just for their personal page, then businesses are going to have to be at least at that level too. But you don't need to really surpass what your audience is producing for themselves.
Because it's peer-to-peer.
Yeah, exactly. Match what your audience is doing.
Ads then? So then if it's the social, we've talked a lot about, and you said we weren't going to talk about much about ads, but so let's say that we were doing those videos of the employees talking about why they love working there and that sort of thing. And we're trying to get lots of views, lots of engagements, be social, just kind of share out there, let people know we're hiring. Because to me, that's not like they're trying to sell something. They're trying to also give an employee a job. So it's kind of like a mutually beneficial thing. I consider it a social thing. Those selfie videos would be great. But are you saying that if we were to run, can you even run a paid job posting ad on Facebook with a video? Okay.
Oh, so with a video? I'm not sure.
Because if you could, in that case, would you recommend a professionally edited video, or could you do a Facebook ad with a selfie video?
With ads, I mean, it's different, right? We have some that we've done where it looks really, really nice. Like, it's well done, or it's even not even just a video. It's like an animation that we've created, and we've spent ridiculous amount of hours making a custom animation for someone. And then we're kind of starting to lean now towards more like user-generated content, just taking people's selfie photos or videos that they are submitting to us, and those can perform as good or better because it just looks, again, it's like more authentic. But it ties into what's best for your brand, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the point there isn't to build relationships usually in ads, it's to help them discover your solution to a problem they have and help them become a customer. And so that usually needs a fair amount of editing to make it do that efficiently, because you have, if it was just on your page and you want to have a conversation with people, you can just chat and you can do your 3-minute video or whatever, but you're not going to run a 3-minute video ad. Mm-hmm. You can tidy it up and make it a nice 30-second, really good ad, and that's going to take some production to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I mean, it's something to test. Like, it's really interesting because you can definitely use some pretty simple user-generated content type stuff and turn that into ads and get amazing results. So, are
we going to try that on my stuff?
Well, we're going to start
video. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, we have the 15-second one, right, that we already did, your selfie video style that you shot that day. I
forgot about that one.
And so that one will
worked
be a story.
Worked me to the bone. What was that, like a 13-hour day? And then you're like, now record a selfie video with lots of passion and energy.
That does not exceed 15 seconds because it needs to fit into one story. And then you're like,
story. Do it again. Hold the camera like this. I was like, okay.
And
I can't wait to see that video. I should probably watch it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about authenticity really quick here.
Okay.
Because when I was early on in my management career, I remember I used to, even when Facebook first came out, I would have a business Facebook and a personal Facebook.
Okay.
And you actually like addressed that specifically. I don't think you knew how much it really was true for me when you said
Okay.
it, because I didn't say anything. We were busy talking about something else. But I was that person who used to keep my work and my personal life separate. But it was so silly. As I grew up and I did so much more personal development and got to know who I was as a person, I realized the person I am at work is the person I am in real life. And those two things can't be separated.
Right.
And they shouldn't be, because that's inauthentic.
Yeah.
So anyways, that I haven't had 2 Facebook profiles for a very long time. But one thing I'm still very cautious of is appearing unprofessional or appearing, I don't know if vulnerable is the right word, but I worry because I am an expert. I am out there telling people, you know, I'm really good at business coaching. I get amazing results with people, and that's all true. But it's like I'm very hesitant to be so authentic that I'll admit a mistake or I'll make myself look bad. Like, I don't want to do that. But I've had conversations with people, like we started and shut down a company 5 or 6 years ago. And I know exactly what went wrong. It was a very low barrier to entry. We basically just gave a bunch of other people a good idea, so everyone copied us and then charged way less. So we just shut it down. It was a learning experience, right?
Yeah, that's good.
But somebody said to me once, well, you better make sure nobody finds out about that.
Right.
And I thought, geez, no, I tell people about it all the time because I want them to learn from my mistake. And I also want them to know that I'm learning. I don't pretend to know everything. But that fear, I work on that all the time because I want to make sure that I'm really authentic. And I mean, live video is such a great example. You can't be inauthentic on live video. Like, we're pretty much screwed if you're trying to.
We could just hold a script up and just read it.
Yes.
On today's
It'd be
podcast.
very authentic. But so, do you remember that one email I sent? I was not. Was it like a month or two ago? I was just like, had it. I was done. I was like, Lane, I've been doing this for 5 years. It's not working. You know, social media, I don't feel like it's making a difference for people. It's not furthering my mission. It's not attracting new clients. Like, what's the point, basically? And I didn't feel like doing my Monday email. And for 5 years, I never missed a Monday email. Every single Monday. And just one week, I was like, no. And I didn't do it. And that made me feel even worse.
Right.
So the next Monday,
I feel guilty.
I almost skipped it again. But instead, I was like, you know what? I got to share this. And I wrote an email. I didn't even record a video because I couldn't be bothered to do it in my sweatpants at my house on Sunday night. And I just was really honest. And I said, I haven't been feeling it lately. I've been really unmotivated. And I made a mistake. I isolated myself. I didn't reach out. I didn't talk to you guys. I haven't been doing videos. I haven't been hanging out with my friends. Like, there were a few cool things that happened in those 2 weeks. And I was like, I don't want to come. Just stayed home, isolated myself. Didn't tell my friends I was feeling down. And I realized it was a huge mistake. So I sent that email. And I must have had like 16 people the next day, which is the most response I've ever gotten from any email, asking me if I was okay, telling me they cared about me. It wasn't like a really like suicidal email.
No, it wasn't.
But they were like, that really hit home for me. Like people just reached out and said that really made a difference for me. And a couple people were like, are you okay? Because they're usually so positive. But yeah, 16, and usually I get none.
Yeah.
So
for replies. Yeah.
And people were like, this meant so much to me because you actually, you know, like you are normal like the rest of us. You have down days and that sort of thing. So I can definitely vouch for the authenticity thing. And even if it's a little bit scary sometimes, I mean, maybe you can give us a bit of advice on that. Like, where's the line? Like, you don't want to overshare.
Sure, but if it's relevant to your audience, I wouldn't.
Yeah, relevant
like
to your audience.
if you're, you could overshare something that has no relevance to them, and they're like, "Why are you telling me this?" Yeah,
I'm so sad.
Exactly.
Facebook Live.
You see that?
He's
People
like,
do
"Oh
that.
my
god." If it's relevant to your audience, I don't think there is oversharing. Like, let them in on everything, and maybe that's not for everyone. That's a strategy that I might intentionally choose, but I think it's great to share it all. The thing is, when you do share that, then they know that everything you say is authentic, right? Like, it gives credibility to the times that you just have good things to say and you are positive, because they're like, oh, you are positive. Like, it's not fake. Like, you're not trying to put this on. They understand that it's legit because when it's not, you're honest about it, not feeling it, right? It's the same as for a while we ran this community blog kind of thing, and I was very adamant about the fact that we have an opinion in what we say, because then our audience knows, like, then they trust us when we say something, like when we support something, right? So if you're just like sitting on the fence, you're like, everything is wonderful and no one's awful, like then when someone pays you, especially when you have sponsored content and you're like, here, you should go try this thing, everyone's like, yeah, whatever, like you don't have an opinion, you'll just share whatever, right? Whereas we kind of took the line of we will honestly review things and we'll say, no, this is like, you should avoid this, it's not very good, this is where the good stuff is, so that when you do sponsored content and people pay you to say, and you obviously then you would only accept it when you agree with it, but and when they say we'd like to be on your blog or whatever you're doing and say, would you whatever promote this beer or something, then people that follow you, your audience, you have audience trust now, because they're like, no, you tell us when it's not good. So if you're saying it's good, I believe it. So it's the same thing with your own brand, that if you're authentic when it's bad, people they know it's authentic when you say it's good, right? People trust that opinion more than someone who just sits on the fence all the time. No one wants that. This is what I believe. I want to, like, lastly, to let people, I want to give people,
my throat hurts so much today.
Because what are you going to say?
I can't. Seriously, my voice hurts so much. I'm really choosing my words. I know you're going to make me do a quick tip, so I'm saving it.
Okay, save it. I want to just, like, give permission to people to just dismiss social media if you don't feel like doing it. Just don't bother. Like, if you either put in the effort and find the time and decide that that's what you like, you want to take advantage of the opportunity there, because there is one there, either do that for real or just don't bother. Like, have a page for sure, like have an account so that people can discover you and they can leave reviews, and you can run ads once in a while, but there is no obligation to post 3 times a week. There's no obligation to post once a week. Maybe throw something up every second week, every third week, like just be there, but then share something meaningful, like this awesome thing happened in the office, we want to take a photo, or here, it's this person's birthday, or we've had this client for 6 years as of this month, or whatever. Share something meaningful, but there is no obligation to put in this half-hearted effort, because it's just not. They have to
check it daily though, right?
If you're not going to be, like, if you're not posting, people aren't going to be expecting you to be responsive to it, right? Like, you're setting that expectation. If someone goes to your page, see that you haven't posted in 3 weeks, they're not really expecting a response. I would give permission to people to just not worry about it. Stop feeling like it's something you have to do, because if that's the way you're approaching it, if that's the attitude you're going into it with, it's not going to be effective anyways.
Is this your quick tip? Because I feel like
no.
it's... Okay, good.
I have another.
It's like you're cheating and reading my notes again.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that's all I wanted to finish with. I still very much advise that you take advantage of the opportunity on there. It's enormous. Like, you can build relationships with an audience in a way that's never before been possible. Like, you couldn't build relationships with TV ads and billboards and newspapers, right? Like, you'd have to do in-person stuff, and now we can do person-to-person on an enormous scale because of social media. Like, I can have pretty awesome relationships with 1,000 local business owners through our social channel, because we've really focused on building relationships. So I very much advise that you do spend the time and do it well, but if you really feel like it's just an obligation and another thing you gotta do, don't feel obligated. Just don't do it then. Okay, let's do a quick tip.
What's your quick tip?
No, you go. I've been talking. I need a beverage.
Okay. Well, I loved what you said about the peer-to-peer thing. I think I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable on camera now. My whole thing about, like, what the point of social media is, we have to play that song before we stop. I have it on my Google right here. My whole point of social media was to share free content and to further my mission. Like, because the occasional person who did let me know that a video changed their life or changed their business or that sort of thing, that was enough for me to keep going, because I know that this stuff changed my life as I learned it, so I wanted to share it with other people. But I think all the uneasiness that I kind of felt around it came from thinking that when I got on Facebook and did a video, or when I did a podcast or whatever, that I was pretty much putting out a message that I was on a pedestal, which I wasn't. No. I just kind of had that fear, and it's not. I'm just one of many billions of people that are choosing to publish things on social media as a peer-to-peer. I love that. That really removes a lot of the fear and the the sort of resistance to that. So I hope that helps a lot of people out there, because I know there's a lot of people who think, well, who am I to do that? Or they're scared to do Facebook videos, that sort of thing. I think my quick tip is you have to learn to love it, or give it to someone who loves doing it, or like you said, stop doing it. And I think the quickest way to learn to love it again is to revisit your why. It's such a big, important part of your business, your mission statement.
Yeah.
Like why? Why do you do anything?
Absolutely.
Why do you have your business? Why do you go to the office when there's a snowstorm? Why do you, I am not complaining. I love being a business owner and all the freedoms that it affords me. But we had a conversation yesterday, my husband and I, and from the employee viewpoint versus the business owner viewpoint, I don't think people have any idea what kind of responsibilities business owners have to, take care of their employees, regardless of whether they're making any money. It's a lot of commitment, and one that I'm honored to have.
Yeah.
But why do we do that? You're not going to make it in business if you can't remember why you're paying all this money, why you're working all these hours, why you're sacrificing in a lot of cases.
Right.
So yeah, same with social media, I'd say, because remembering my why makes me want to go record 17 videos right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that why can be your motivation. So this is your why you're on social media is to fulfill that why.
Yeah, it's and if you don't know your why, you have to find it. That's another quick tip. Like that.
I think everyone knows their why. Like maybe they haven't.
Maybe not consciously. Though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or
they haven't verbalized it, or yeah.
Because even today with, hopefully he's not watching this, but maybe my tough guy client who never cries. I think I almost got him crying today because we were talking about his why, and I said when you get it right, you will tear up. Like this, when we really get down. Have you heard of the 7 levels why?
No. Like
basically you ask why. Well, why is that important? Why is that important 7 times?
Oh, yeah.
Till you get to And so you really discover like a deeper, really
absolutely
heart-wrenching or warming or moving why. And that should be driving your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so my quick tip will be very actionable, very direct, and I want to talk about how
to mine?
No, as opposed to mine and both of ours. Usually it's very like, hey, this is something you should know or think about. I think that everyone should have some understanding of using UTM parameters to add to their links, and I know you guys do it. You don't need to take notes. Me and Laura talk about this all the time.
Don't tell people I'm taking notes.
Sorry.
I'm sure they can see me writing.
Okay, we're going to do the whole share screen thing.
Wait, when are we going to share the song?
Oh, we'll do it before we go.
At the end?
Okay, so this is the one we use. We use something called Simple UTM. I just want to show you how it works. So when you want to go somewhere, so we're going to go to Better Business Podcast, because that's our website. Okay, so if I share this on to Facebook, what this does is these parameters that you add on the end of your link will tell Google Analytics where this traffic came from. Because right now, if someone just clicks a link that we add to a Facebook post and we just put in betterbusinesspodcast.com, all Google Analytics will know is it came from Facebook. It will say that, but we don't know if it came from an ad, from a comment, from a direct message, from a post, from whatever. But if we use this, we can tell Google Analytics everything we want to know. So here we're going to put wow, that is not how you spell that. We're going to put Facebook, campaign medium. We're going to put that it was in a post, and then how I usually do this is just kind of our naming convention. I'll put like organic, just so that I know that this is an organic Facebook post. And then this is the link we share, and you can shrink this. Yeah, I can shorten it with like bit.ly, or we use rebrandly so that we can make it a branded one still. But shorten this or just post it as it is. You know what? When it's Facebook post, you don't need to shorten it because the link you just delete anyways once the preview appears. And same with if it's like a link in an email or something, there's no point shortening it because you're going to hide it anyways, right? You're just
in the email?
Well, yeah, because no one sees that link text, right? Because you're just saying you're just gonna.
They just see the hyperlink.
They see the word that you're hyperlinking, exactly. So there's not only point of shortening is if it's actually a visible link, like the link in your bio or profile or something like that. But use this link, and then when someone clicks this link and goes to your page, then we can look in Google Analytics and we know that this visitor came from an organic Facebook post. We can also say if someone's asking about our podcast and they're like, where do I subscribe? And we just give them this link instead. And then we know that comes from a Facebook comment. We can also know like message or messenger or something if we're doing that privately, and then we do ads, and then we can put campaign content and get more specific about which ad it was, because otherwise all of these would just appear in analytics as Facebook. And this doesn't just apply to Facebook. I mean, we'll talk about that because we're talking about social media and everything, but it can be the email, like a link in your email footer that goes out with every email. You know how frequently that's translating into people hitting your website. It can be the bio link on Instagram that people hit, and you're like, oh, that's people just organically finding my bio and clicking that link, and they got to my website. Basically, everywhere that you have a public link to your website that you control. I mean, other people post links and you can't control them, how they use them, right? But every link that you publish and control should have, and that goes back to your website, should have these UTM parameters on them. And the only reason we use this tool is because it saves them. I'm not logged in at the moment, but it just, naming conventions are extremely important, because if I accidentally misspell Facebook, it's going to show up in a different folder, because analytics just literally reads the words and folders things. And you cannot edit analytics results once they hit analytics. It's just data. You can't change it. So it's not like we can say, oh, these Facebook ones that we misspelled, let's put them in with these other Facebook ones. It's just has to be extremely consistent in how you name them and how things are spelled. So this is something I think people definitely need to use if your website is any meaningful part of your business. If you're like the website that we have for
your business, that's
like a local restaurant, your website's not that important. Like people
menu.
Yeah, it's literally 95% of the traffic is people checking out your menu. And it's almost always just coming from people searching on Google and checking your Google My Business listing and then going to your menu. It's not that meaningful, but even if you're a hair salon or whatever, you take bookings online, people are finding out what your services are. Oh, I should have that hidden because we're going to get messages from my employees. But just use this everywhere, and then your analytics will tell you exactly where every piece of traffic is coming from. Man, people probably don't want to just look at that anymore. Hi. So
ready for the song?
Yeah,
is
ready.
Is this the right song?
The short tip is UTM links for everything. I have no idea. I know the song you're talking about, but let's hope. Well, now we have to Square. I'm already a Square customer.
Me too. I always think, what a waste of money. Same with QuickBooks Online.
They need to make us their negative audience.
Yes. That's all I could hear when you were talking.
Okay.
It was
That's
so
the
bad.
theme song.
It must be the fever.
It's the theme song of this show.
But except for the truth, it's not good for absolutely nothing. That's not what I was implying.
Not what Facebook's good for. Not absolutely nothing. Okay, that was like our longest episode by a long shot.
Sorry, Joss. I know you're our only viewer. I love you.
No, we had other people popping in. So, but people can also watch this forever in the future now that we're doing this on YouTube. It will just be a YouTube video, and people can watch these, and hopefully they do.
Awesome.
But also you can catch us wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll get this edited and put up at some point over. I think if we just do it like the next week, we'll probably be 1 week behind on when the just audio version gets published. But we'll be here every Tuesday at 6:15 going live, and you'll be able to see what our topic is ahead of time now, because we'll actually have the live scheduled out probably the day before. This time we had
What's our YouTube channel called again?
Well, it's just Business Can Be Better, but they can reach it at bit.ly/Better Business Podcast. That is the short link that will take you to our YouTube channel. We need 100 subscribers before we can get a vanity URL where you can put YouTube/Better Business Podcast or something, right? So we need, I believe, it's 100 subscribers, and then we can change it from just a alphabet soup of letters and numbers that it is right now, and it'll be easier to tell people. But yeah, we'll be back next week at 6:15 on Tuesday with a new topic, and if you want to suggest a topic, you should fire that off to us. And you can reach us. I'm on Twitter, Lane_Anderson. I'm on Instagram, Lane B. Anderson, and you can find me on LinkedIn just by searching my name, Lane Anderson.
My throat hurts, so I'm going to try and be more compact with this. You can search my name or business name on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, and then at Instagram I'm at Kelly Ray Tamaki TMH.
All right. Okay, well, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.